Hello everyone, my name is Jay from School of Statistics, and I work recently mostly on agentic AI and related issues in trustworthiness. Um, so today I'm going to talk about um, the topic of AI for domain science. Um, the motivation is that as I work with many domain scientists, like in bio industry and in energy industry, they tend to uh, adopt the AI for automating some of their research procedure. But the challenge is that whether the AI can really generate anything meaningful for that particular domain. And if not, how can we quickly fix that? So a general agenda that we work on is so-called what we call human AI co-learning. Here is a motivating use case that my collaborator showed that they collect gigabytes or even terabytes of data every week. And they really need to uh, automate some of the processing, like from this, what do they call spike sorting data. They need to do some sequence of processing until we have a clean signal to further call the domain tool sets. And traditionally, this was done by students for years. So they graduate like up to 7 years because they need to do a lot of dirty work. But recently, we developed AI agents that can uh, often reduce the time to days or even hours. And the domain professional told me that they make sense in many cases, at least. So the user basically chat in a chat interface to draw pictures and uh, query some of the details to understand what's going on and further create more pictures and iteratively interact so that they confirm everything makes sense. But as we push forward, that we publish more and more AI agents. So far, I think we published like 4 or 5. Some of them published, and some of them still under review. Um, we found the three main challenges that we still need a lot of work. The first is the gap between the AI's capability and the human's capability to select the right tools. The tools are often like developed by domain scientists, not seen by the generic LLM during pre-training or post-training. The second is the domain experts often struggling to customize their AI tool sets. So the simplest is certainly Cloudy or ChatGPT. And more sophisticated, maybe um, writing some customized AI agents with LangChain and hooking up with some existing Python package. But it's still like not very easy for students to set up this for like a daily operation. So imagine in the future that the professor just have some cool idea and then immediately chat with the AI and then the AI chat with some other AI released by another professor. Then maybe a proposal is written within hours. So that is the ideal situation. But now still people need a lot of like hardwired engineering. And the AI agents often are not really AI agents. It's more about AI workflows that run a sequence of codes. The third one is about the limitation for real-time feedback, because when the professor wants to develop something new and cool, it was never seen possibly uh, by the in the training data, and the professor wants to give some very nice idea to it and wants the AI to immediately evolve, right? So immediately, for example, change the direction of thought and call some tools recently published in Nature, or maybe call that GitHub open source that was yesterday released. So this kind of capability still needs a lot of principled study. Yeah, so therefore, to address this, I generally work on areas of what I call like continual learning with sample efficiency. With few sample, the AI could quickly adapt to understand what the human really wants. And the second is the principled approach to equip an AI model with a multi-turn, multi-level tool calling capability. So the multi-turn here means interact with human multiple rounds, not only like single time calling. And the multi-level means the AI can understand a high-level picture while still doing the sophisticated low-level detailed operations. Yeah, currently it is still like a single level. Most of the work like 10 models at the token level, where each token is one single flat level. So this is something we are interested in these days. And hopefully this will increase the reasoning chain. Here is just the quick demo. I think it's very related to Professor Ding's, the other Professor Ding's talk that we have like AI agents to automate some of the data analytics. So in this animation, I actually was drinking a cup of coffee. So everything was done by AI, like doing literature search, writing, writing the results and plotting, and do some literature search and then write a paper at the end. So this is just a quick demo that I was working with bio professor to come up with some domain-specific agent.
In that case, what did you ask it to do?
Yeah, so in that case, I was asked, yeah, so the general goal here is to do this what is spatial transcriptomics data analysis. So it's a kind of a special bio data set that we need to upload. And certainly AI doesn't know it. So AI need to do the literature search online and to understand what it is. And the human can here real-time interrupt to give some feedback so that AI will adjust the strategy. Yeah. So I'm generally interested in AI for domain science, any kind of domain science. And we hope to automate some of the traditional data workflows. And we also want to automate the lab operations. I actually ordered the robot to further study how you can physically interact with lab environment. Yes.
So can you share a little bit more on spatial transcriptomics data and what's the use case? You're loading it and doing what here?
Yeah, so here usually the data is messy from the beginning and needs some pre-processing, suitable pre-processing. And then call some package, for example, some package called Scampi that is very specific to domain researchers to, for example, get the cell types correctly sorted out. And then call some suitable tools like UMAP to further do cell type clustering. And at the end, find some interesting cell patterns and correlate that with some earlier papers to see whether a new cell type has been there that is related to some disease. So usually it's like the purpose is not to prove any existing hypothesis, but to raise new hypotheses. So people in this domain generally appreciate work to propose a new finding, new hypothesis, and then support it with data analysis. So the question is how to ask the question. So that is the general purpose.
May I ask a follow-up?
Yeah.
By assuming you have some collaborators in the medical space who are generating this data,
Right.
did they look at the results from AI and how?
Yeah, they look at the result. Actually, the collaborator told me that once we have the so what they did is to do this single cell mapping with a very high resolution picture and share with some wet lab collaborators to figure out something interesting. And then they hang on the wall for like 2 years, but didn't really get any insights from it. And then the AI basically look at the picture and then see whether any suspicious patterns are here or there, and then do the literature search to compare any interesting potential hypothesis there, and then screen maybe narrow down to like 100 hypotheses, and then have the human scientists check whether some of them make sense, and they realize maybe some of them, like maybe 10 out of 100, this kind of percentage makes sense, and then they further maybe the human gets a job like reading the paper and then making the decision whether to go forward towards some of the detailed hypotheses. So everything happened within one afternoon. So that's why they are all very excited about this.
Yes, it will be good to talk after this because we have similar collaboration with Mayo and Michigan and.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
So how general is this paradigm? What kinds of applications that you can, for example, I just say, can you deal with the kind of application Nadia was talking about earlier? Or we were talking about just earlier, like how, what's the connection between the applications and the methodology you're building?
Yeah, I think theoretically speaking, as long as it can be tokenized and with some suitable data for fine tuning. But if it's already like text-based data or image-based data, probably it can be zero shot. So without much
I
adaptation.
think
Yeah.
images and text is easy because you know.
Right. It's already very much pre-trained. For example, the tool calling related to literature search, that's purely based on text, right? Web search and then read the papers. Those parts doesn't need to be adapted. Yes.
Good question. So I'm curious. So in your pipeline, so those agent gonna call existing software
Yes.
through pipeline, or it is able to kind of like really manipulate that. For example, simulation software, right? Starts from some like
Right.
initial kind of design, and then design the whole simulation pipeline inside the
Right.
simulator, and then run the simulator
Yeah.
to get the results.
Yeah. That's different paradigms. But here, what we often use is a paradigm that use just API level tool calling. So still the real software runs the real thing, not in the simulated space. Because the large model only need to see the API and the API doc to understand what can be done. And the actual physics thing is done by that software.
My question is, if, for example, I'm doing like finite element simulation.
Yes, that can be done.
So in
So,
this case,
yeah, we actually have a collaborator in finite element analysis. Yes. So they have a commercial software and they only need to provide the API and some doc.
So for example, I have a geometry, I say, okay, build a like stress analysis on this
Right.
3D point cloud scan thing, and then like all the process can be done. Right?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but certainly also depends on the complexity of your request. If you want to develop a new analytical algorithm, maybe it takes more interaction with you.
That's just not that complex.
Okay. Yeah, we will talk offline. Thank you.
Thank you.